I love oak trees and I really love growing oaks as bonsai. And over the years I have grown hundreds of oak trees, collected the acorns, germinated them and grown them on into some beautiful bonsai. And this particular one I didn't grow from acorn, it was collected. I was lucky enough to have a friend who had a large garden and wanted some small trees, although they were quite big for bonsai, and he wanted them removed, so I kindly helped him out and dug some up and moved them, and I've grown them on, and this one's looking fantastic. It's been growing on for 30 years or so, just kept a rough trim, haven't done anything really major to it because I wanted it to thicken up. I wanted it to get really chunky to get that powerful oak look, and I think we're nearly there now. So what I would like to do now, I've got a lot of tidying up to do. You can see it's all weedy here. We've got some overgrown branches. It's just about to lose all its leaves, so it's just going into winter mode. Normally I would wait until all the leaves have dropped off and then I can see exactly what's going on, but I thought for the purpose of this video it does look quite nice to have a few leaves on it. The leaves are reducing down quite nicely. Full-size oak leaf, you know, is about that sort of size-ish. This is an English oak, common oak, Quercus robur, and yeah, so it's just going to lose all its leaves soon, but I thought it looks a bit more full, so we're going to do it with sort of half leaf. And so I'm going to have a tidy up, good clean, and then we'll have a look and see what's going on with all these branches, do a little bit of refinement. And over the next sort of 24 months I want to really get sort of stuck in and maybe work on the twigs, on the ramification, and make sure all the branches are growing in the right direction as they should. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and have a look at some big oaks and get some inspiration from them as well. So let's get on to it. Let's go cleaning. All I'm going to do first of all with a spatula, root rake spatula, and you can use any tools really. I just find this is good just for carefully just scraping off like this. Be careful not to damage any surface roots. Look at that lot in there. A lot of bramble growing out here. Oh, so just a quick clean up. I'm going to work my way around. That looks a lot better. So now we can see what we've got all around here. So now is the perfect time to get out of here and go and find a nice big oak tree, give some inspiration and really get us going. So come on, let's go and find one. So here we are. we found this fantastic oak tree. It's not actually an English oak, it is actually an evergreen oak, but actually the shape is pretty much the same, so we can get everything we need from this particular tree. So let's go in and get some close-ups and have a look and see what's actually going on, all the shapes and things that we can learn from. This oak tree has an amazing trunk. It's a beautiful tree, but it just has that power. It has a feeling of age. When you look at this, it's so strong and stable, and it has this lovely flare. The bark is beautiful, it's all gnarly. And look at the way the branches just sweep out from the trunk. Beautiful curves. And the way this branch just curves down here it's exceptional. It's just beautiful. I really love this branch. It's got so much character to it. Now, why did it not just grow straight? Here it is, it just undulates, changes. It's got this lovely little twist and this curve to it. It's so beautiful. And this is the sort of thing I love, and I'm going to put into my own bonsai. Beautiful, and that's what we want. We want to put those details into our bonsai. So we're going to go back to the workshop and see how we can compare the two now, how we can make all of these curves, this power, and put these details into the tree we're working on at the moment. As you can see, we're off to a good start because this bonsai already has this fantastic trunk. It's grown on really nicely over the years. It's chunky and it's kind of squat. It gives us that power that we need. And then we've got these main branches here, these one up here and one over here, and these lovely curves, just like the one we saw in the field. This lovely curve where the branch starts and then it gradually creeps down and the branch undulates out. Our bonsai hasn't quite got the curves in it yet in that branch, but those are the features that we're going to add over the next few years. So let's get on and do some shaping. To start off with, all I'm going to do is just to tidy up some of these twigs, some of the ones that are very overgrown and ones I definitely aren't going to need to grow on. So I'm just going to go round and a quick trim. I just take these leaves off. It might just help you see what we've got here. So this heavy shoot coming up, I don't want that one to grow that way. I want to put some strength back down the branch, so I'm going to prune this one back. There's a little bud underneath here, and so I'm just going to prune that back like that. There is an abundance of buds in this area, and by pruning back this heavy shoot, all these buds will start to grow next spring. I can then choose from these buds which ones I would like to keep that will be growing in the direction to help shape the branch. With all those heavy shoots that were sort of sticking up, now that they've all been pruned and out of the way, I can see deeper into the branch structure, and this will allow me to then decide on which shoots I'm going to keep and which ones I'm going to remove. I'm continually looking for nice shapes in the twigs, nice little curves and kinks, but also I'm looking for a way to improve the taper as well. And the thing with the oak is that it can get quite chunky in places, especially as it gets towards the outside of the branches. So I'm always bearing this in mind, and sometimes I have to prune back harder than I would do normally. And this will improve the taper as well as the shape. It's a great opportunity at this stage to also clean up any old cut marks, so those little stumps left behind by previous year's prunings. And with a pair of bonsai knob cutters, I can just cut those stumps back so that they're sort of dished into the main branch, and that will heal up nicely, leave a tiny scar which you won't really see in a year or two, and that just improves the sort of flow of the branch and keeps it nice and tidy. That looks a lot better. With all the clutter gone, all the little twigs and lumps and bumps removed. So we just got this clean outline of the branch and the main twig structure. Some of the twigs we will keep over the years and grow on, and some of them we will prune back again. This process is just repeated again and again on each branch at each stage. So I'll just let you watch for a bit, sit back and enjoy it. Got a nice pruning session. Still lots more I can see that needs to come off, but we can now start to see the really nice shape that's in there. There are some lovely curves and twists and forks, and the taper is really nice. Starts off thick and chunky, meanders down and gets smaller towards the edge. That's a really good start. Spin it around and we can have a look. I love the way this comes up. Nice crown. Some nice start to some really fine twigs that are going to grow next year. Some lovely, I'll do some close-ups later on, but some lovely shapes coming in here, meandering around. So there is still a lot more work to do. There's a lot more cleaning up to do. There's still lots of stumps and lumps and bumps, and I'll go through and do that later. Generally, I'm really happy with the overall shape. Definitely getting some power in here, some nice tapering, some lovely curves and twists that are starting to shape that we can keep working on. A few things which, you know, needs improving. From here, this section coming down here and sort of just bobs up here. We need to put some character into this bit. So we need to put some bends in and grow some new branches out. So we'll be working on this and there's some work to do up here. We've got a floating branch at the back here. So if you'd like to learn more about all these details and how I shape branches like this and what a floating branch is if you're not sure, then hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell and the thumbs uppy likey thing. That would be great. That helps me out and you won't miss following episodes of this oak tree, plus many more other videos. And if you would like to learn how to take an acorn, get it to this sort of stage and beyond, and start to grow something like this into something like this, then we'll be doing that as well. So don't miss out. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've loved it. It's been a great adventure on this one, and hope to see you again soon. All the best.